Yes, it is.
Special report.
He comes out like.
Good evening. I would like to welcome you to the Board of Supervisors meeting for Monday, December 15th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So let's establish a quorum.
Supervisor Mark Hain.
Here.
Supervisor Linda Waite.
Here.
Chairman Dan Wolfle.
Here.
Supervisor Jeannie Vogel.
Here.
Supervisor Trent Olson.
Here.
All right, so we have a quorum. Meet and greet. I don't know if there's anyone in the audience that would like to speak on anything. You have to wait, I'm sorry. It's okay. But, hearing no one else under public participation, the agenda properly noticed,
The agenda was properly noticed.
motion to approve.
A motion to approve the agenda.
Motion by Trent, second by?
Second.
Second by Mark. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Way to go. Approval of the approval of the minutes, Board of Supervisors meeting from November 17th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from November 17th, 2025.
Motion by Jeannie, second by?
Second?
Second by Trent. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Right on time. Brings us to a special report by Jeb regarding the update on the E911 fire signs in our community. You have a mic there, so if you would grab that, you can pick it there. You can take it out if you like and hold it.
Well, first off, thank you guys for having me. My name is Jeb Salins. I'm the Director of Emergency Management. So I just wanted to come up tonight to kind of explain the process of our new fire number signs. So we started this process. We started in Sturgeon Bay in August with a pilot project of 40 signs. We are now working our way through Neswabi, and we are about 18-19% complete of the entire county. So why are we doing all of our new fire number signs? Because some people's signs out there look like this. And when you're driving a fire truck or an ambulance or a police vehicle, it is very difficult to find where you're going when these are your directions. So we're replacing all the 19,009 green signs with these. These are going to be blue new signs. They're going to be perpendicular to the road, so they're going to stick out like this. You've seen them in the southern part of the county. They stand out really well. You can see them about a quarter mile in the dead of night pretty easily. So our project is set up in phase 1 and phase 2. So phase 1, our crews will go out like they are right now, and any sign and posts that are in the correct location and in good working condition, they will switch out that green sign for a blue sign. We use a simple set of brackets on the post just to attach the sign to. Any sign or any post that may be in poor condition, not within 20 feet of the driveway, or is just, let's say, maybe it's on a tree or on a wooden post, but not on its original metal post, we will put in a new metal post that we have. In order to do that, we need to call Digger's Hotline, and so we'll need to have them come out, mark any utilities underground, just to make sure we're not bringing that post into any utilities. So as of right now, it's a little hard to get some posts in the ground. We have been able to, and we are still working out in the communities, but that part of the process is probably going to be delayed till springtime. Just because it's snowing every couple days now, and it's really hard to see where any utility lines are being marked. So just for the safety of our crews and just the convenience of the project, we're probably going to wait till spring to do that part of the project. So we are working our way through Neswabi. We have probably another couple weeks there, especially with the holidays. It might be 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll be on to you guys. I will just caveat that in saying, if we get another big snowstorm, it might put us away for the season. But as of right now, we're going out there still on a daily basis to put out signs. So a couple of things that you guys should know as in the towns. So when we do replace a sign or replace a post, we're gonna put that post in the right back corner of that driveway, of that right-of-way. So if I'm looking at the house, it's gonna be in the right back, right? We do that just because that's what it says in the ordinance, but we do give our crews leeway. So let's say there's a bunch of trees or bushes, or the road just turns in a certain way where on the right side, it's not necessarily the best. Our crews might put it on the left side as well. It does have to be within 20 feet of a driveway. That way it's close enough for our emergency services vehicles to identify that sign goes with that road. So they'll do that, and then if any of your residents receive a letter about visibility, it's because our crews went out there, replaced that sign, but saw that there was a bunch of brush or trees or something else that grew kind of around the sign. So they'll cut away what they need to replace it, but it is the responsibility of the homeowner to make sure that these signs are properly seen by emergency vehicles. So we will send them out just a letter reminding them that their sign's been replaced and that it is their responsibilities to clean that up. Some people do want to save their old signs. So if anyone out there does want to save an old sign, we just ask that they write save on the back side of the sign. We will take that off and just leave it right at the signpost for them. Yes, sir.
Can I ask you a quick question? So I know for sure, one really cool one on Bay Shore Drive where it's like a tree has grown around it. And it looks like a mouth, and they put eyes above it, googly eyes. Like something like that, they're gonna just leave that alone, right? I mean, they're, because if this resident isn't here right now,
Yeah.
they're not gonna try to like pull it out of the tree, right?
Probably not,
Okay.
but why don't you, I'll just caveat with this. You guys are like the eyes and ears of your community.
Yeah.
You know what's going on much more than I do. Let me know that address, and then I'll make sure that when we get to it, that crews just leave it in place, and that the homeowners can decide what to do with it.
Yeah, I'll be going through there tomorrow, actually, and I'll let you know.
But that's a great point, because, we get a lot of questions about, well, my sign wasn't replaced, but all my neighbors have blue signs. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here tonight, is because, we may find that, oh, that's on a wooden post, or hey, that post needs to get moved. So these are some of the reasons why we're not gonna touch that sign. We're gonna leave those signs up until we can get back and put in those new posts and put on those new signs. I know there's a lot of people that are really looking forward to having their new signs, but unfortunately winter has come a little earlier, or this year, I guess, on time. We've been spoiled the last couple of years. So some of that process will just be taking probably later this spring. But do you guys have any questions right off the bat?
Do you have signs already ordered for our town in a pile somewhere?
Yep. So all the signs for the entire county have come in. So they come in these big crates. So they are all sitting there ready to go.
This is gonna be a dumb question, but is there any way to pull out signs out of that pile without creating major headache for you? We have a few people where their sign and the sign that you have there, you must have stole it from their yard. And they are anxious about the fact that EMS and others can't find their place and want a new sign tomorrow. So
Yeah.
we'll order a special one to accommodate that, but if we can avoid that cost, who knows?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, because, you're not the only person that have reached out to me. There's some people that have reached out and just said, hey, I understand you guys aren't gonna come around till spring to do this. Can I just do it myself? And I'm definitely okay with that, right? I'm willing to work with you guys and get those out, because really, what we're trying to do is make sure our community is safer in the end. And if that is a little bit of more legwork on my end, I'm definitely okay with that. So once we kind of bust open your guys' crate, if you can send me a list of addresses, I'm more than happy to get those out to the community the quickest way possible.
Okay, that'd be great. Right now, it's a small number, but it would be, rather than spend another $100 to, order more, whatever.
Absolutely, yeah,
Cool.
no, and I understand, right? Like, I see this from two views. I see this from the 30,000-foot view, but, when I'm not doing this, I'm a firefighter. I drive ambulances sometimes when they need me, so I get to see it as that part too. So, if we can get the signs that are really bad out there right away, even if it's just the homeowner taking that on themselves and replacing it, I'm fine with that, because in the
Okay.
end, it makes our community safer.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
You got a question?
Yes, I'm going to assume that somebody has checked to be sure that you're using the proper name of the street or road. I know in the past, for instance, 5381, capital B-A-Y, space, capital S-H-O-R-E, whereas other signs have Bay Shore as one word, or County P might be abbreviated CTY, and then on other signs, it's spelled out with the county. So I'm hoping that everything will be consistent, and you've checked for the proper road name.
Me too.
We could have cemetery, remember, there's 2 cemetery spellings on the same street.
Yeah.
That's one of my major peeves.
Before this project started, we had our GIS department, Zachary Short, reach out to all the towns with most commonly misspelled names. So that maybe our system had one spelling, their system had a different spelling, and just tried to correct those. In the end of the day, you guys are the towns are kind of the ones who decide what the roads are going to be named. So we rely on you for that information. But Zach did do a great job of just trying to figure out, running through the data and saying, do we have different spellings? Do we have different ways of looking at this? I'm not going to promise that it's perfect, but we haven't run across an issue yet. So, if there is anything, again, let me know. I'll hand my cards out tonight so you guys have my phone number and direct contact information. That way, any problems do come up, reach out to me, whether it's a missing sign or, if someone forgot to put save. For an instant, we had a military family a couple weeks ago. They've moved all around the states, right? Forgot to put save on the back of their sign. This was their first real home that they've had, and it was in a big, huge metal bin. We dug through it and found it and got it back out to them.
Oh, nice.
So, we'll do whatever we can to make this process easy for you guys as well.
And,
Nice. That was nice.
and then I noticed, going through the town of Sturgeon Bay, there were several signs that were way, way back from the road. You said it has to be within 20 feet of the
Side of the
driveway?
driveway.
Yeah, from driveway.
Okay, so this sign was on, if looking at the house, this sign was on the left side of the driveway. And, I mean, it
Way
was,
past
it
the
was
right of way.
yards away from the road.
Maybe they moved it.
So,
Yeah, and Sturgeon Bay, so I'll just caveat with this, is when we started this project, we were learning as we kind of went along as well, of different things that worked, efficiencies, and, just putting some guidelines around it to make sure these posts are looking good, these signs are looking good, that when we walk away, it's a good quality that we're leaving. So, Sturgeon Bay had a couple more anomalies and new people starting off. So we've tried to correct those as we've gone along. So you guys should have a more finished product than Sturgeon Bay did.
thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I guess not. Thank you very much for the info.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Great.
Thanks, Jeff.
No problem. You picked a good request month, too. It's one of our lower activities. All right. Moving on. Grant update. Included in your packet was a copy of the Community Foundation grant agreement. And for those people that, and I haven't seen anything in the paper, maybe it'll be this week, the town did receive a grant in the amount of $150,000 for the improvement and creation of the Shower Road project into Cape Point County Park. And so that's the good news. And the not so good news is that we're $100,000 short. So that's why it's on the agenda this evening. Just as a couple of footnotes, I've gone back to the county, and Ken Pavich has asked that the city, that the road group re-look at all the numbers to make sure that if there's any fat to trim, that it can be trimmed. I did not get anything back from them in time for this meeting, but Thad Ash is re-looking at all aspects to see if there's anything they can trim back. Our job tonight is take a look at this and take your ideas. I have one, but I'm sure you probably have the same one. In the sheet that is attached on the cost budget dollars, the one thing that I asked for, and it was in a different document that we had at the meeting, was the cost of the cul-de-sacs creation in the town of Jacksonport. And then it was also in there was a contingency. And as it turned out, the contingency is basically like $2,500. So the cul-de-sac creation is $50,000. I can tell you, I think I've said it before, that I think one of the alternatives here is to go back to the town of Jacksonport. I told Tom Wilson this, that depending on what's up, they may need to relook at the investments they make in this. Of course, the timing of their budget, our budget, I mean, all the other factors that enter into it, who knows what impact how they'll impact this cost, whether they'll contribute more or less, delay, who knows what that is. The other option is, depending on the feedback we get from them, is to postpone, delay, or eliminate the cul-de-sac creation component, which would bring us a little closer, and assuming the county can find a few extra bucks here or there, maybe make it more workable, I don't know. So I just wanted to give you that overview and get your thoughts on where you think we ought to go. So feel free to jump in. Linda, would you?
I'll start.
Oh, Mark's gonna start.
Start this way and go that way.
Okay.
I really don't think we should get rid of the cul-de-sac. I think it's a terrible idea. I think we're gonna get a lot of backlash if we do, because that was one of the big parts of it, is having that for the plowing and the everything in the end of that road there. Don't know where we're gonna get the extra funds from, but I don't believe that's a good idea to get rid of the cul-de-sac.
Well, the cul-de-sac creation was for the benefit of Jacksonport's traffic. It had nothing to do with,
Well,
it had nothing to do with excuse me, with a true benefit to us.
no, I know, I understand that,
Okay.
but kind of like the agreement was within creating that cul-de-sac was part of the agreement.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
So that's just my,
okay, that's fine.
I agree with you, Mr. Chairman, that I feel that Jacksonport needs to step up. And they need to contribute more because that is to their benefit, the cul-de-sac, so.
Okay. Well, we already know what I said, so Linda, do you have any thoughts?
I do.
Okay.
Cave Point is the highest visited outdoor venue in Door County. So I'm having a hard time understanding why the town of Sevastopol should be bearing the brunt of this cost. It came to light because of traffic congestion, right? Basically,
Emergency
safety.
vehicle, safety. yeah.
Right, and I think my initial reaction, and I think others had the same thought, well, just widen the existing road. And I've said this before, I love that winding road. I like people going slow, take time and enjoy the scenery. But then with pushback from the DNR and whoever else, that was not gonna happen, and all of a sudden we have a new straight road heading, or pretty straight, heading right into the parking lot. And now we have a $350,000 project. I think all the parties need to sharpen their pencils and get out their calculators, including the County of Door, Destination Door County, and the Community Investment Fund. This project, as far as safety and getting, like our chairman said, getting emergency vehicles, benefits everyone, especially the tourists who don't know the terrain, who may be tempted to speed. So it is definitely a tourist-related expense. Yes, residents go there too, but definitely high tourist traffic. So I would just think all the parties, plus Destination Door County, plus the Community Investment Fund, to take another look at this and sharpen their pencils. And then also the 15% contingency, 38,000, I would request they take another look at that too. Almost, $40,000 as a contingency. And I know it's $350,000 project, but everybody just needs to take a closer look at this, and there needs to be a more fair distribution of the cost. And that's my feeling on it.
Okay. I don't disagree with
Yeah.
that. We've had that conversation as well, but it has, for the most part, fallen on deaf ears. I don't know how to go back to Destination Door County. If you have a suggestion there. I was happy by the amount. I was happy that we got a significant portion, but based on the initial feedback that we had, I thought there would be a bigger contribution. I really did. I mean, this touched, and Amy and I don't want to tell you how much time we put into this application, but way too much. It really stood out as a great fix involving 4 communities or 4 entities and tourism, and it impacted everything. And it's not to sound cheap, but it's a little more than Brussels got for their restroom. So I don't know what option we might have, or if any, so throw it out there.
Could I make another comment
Sure.
too, please, Mr. Chairman? I've talked to other municipalities. I went through the list of grants that the Community Investment Fund has made over the years, and I've talked to a couple other municipalities and asked them if they had received the full amount that they requested. Neither of them did. So their thought was kind of on the same lines of ours. We wouldn't be asking for the amount if we didn't truly need it.
Need it.
Right.
I mean, for us to turn around and say, oh, sure, we have an extra $107,000 laying around in our pocket, we wouldn't have asked for that if we didn't truly need it. I mean, we're being transparent and upfront. So maybe, what did they use for criteria? Apparently, they think this project is worthwhile. 150, yes, that's a nice, healthy sum. So they must think it's worthwhile and has merit. But help us.
More, yeah.
Otherwise, the taxpayers of Sevastopol will be bearing the brunt of this.
Oh, yeah, and we're not, we bumped up our road construction this year, but that does not cover the delta that's in there. So, even if we agreed to do it, which would be doubling our component, I know. I think the other one I really like is the toll road idea, although it might be difficult to implement. I don't know. Trent?
So
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
are
keep
we
going.
gonna just hold off on this for a while then, or?
Well, I'm gonna,
I mean, I really don't have much to add. That was well put. I'm not going against anybody on any of that. No, I just, we've already ponied up we agreed to 50,000. This 150, it's nice, but it just, yeah, it doesn't get us there. I just don't see the project moving forward without additional help. So maybe it stays where it is, and, you know, I've said, I like, now that I have a motorcycle, I love riding Shower Road, and maybe I'll get to do that a few more years till we get, till we get some additional funding.
well, from my perspective, I'll certainly go back and take this to Jacksonport. I think there are a lot of people that live on Shower Road that are gonna feel that this cul-de-sac is really something that they need. It's important to them. So I will do that. On the destination, or I should say, well, I don't know where I'd start there, but we could have the conversation, but I think what I'll do is this. I think I'll wait till we get the final revised numbers from the county to see what fat they might have been able to trim out of this, to see what the real net is and what the delta is. And then I'll go back to Jacksonport and have that conversation, and kind of come back next month and tell you where we're tracking, and depending on the delta, and I'll just have to have a conversation maybe with Ken at the county and see what other thoughts he might have on reapproaching them, or what possibly the county can do. If the county decides not to move ahead with the museum, there'll be more than enough money available for any project that we could come up with. But anyway, that's kind of my thought.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
I've
Mark.
got one more that might be crazy. It's just, we're doing the brunt of the finances here, and then
Yeah.
we're giving the road away to the guy that's doing almost the least. It's, to me, it's like we're fixing this up and saying, okay, here, take this. It's, I mean, that's literally what we're doing. It's just really weird to me that we're doing that, and
We don't have to, Mark.
I understand that, but that's,
Okay.
that's what we're doing. I mean, that's literally what we're
Right.
doing. So, I mean, if this math is correct, the 344, 830 minus 150,000 divided three ways, that'd be just under 65,000 apiece. I mean, doesn't sound so bad for us, adding another 15 of the 50 we already said yes to.
Yep.
You know, if we kind of said, hey, you know, and we're gonna pay $65,000 for something that we're gonna hand over. And we get nothing out of this in the end, because, I mean, we really don't make money off of Cave Point. It brings people in, but it doesn't make us money,
Right.
because people are coming and going away from it.
I mean,
It's
the
just a
whole
kind of hard
piece,
pill to swallow.
the option that we always have, and still have, is just go back and leave the road, do nothing, take a different approach and say, over time, now that the powers that be at the DNR have a little different perspective on it, maybe be able to at least shoulder out, but I mean, that's not gonna be a freebie either. But we have that option. I don't disagree with you. I mean, there's some work to be done here yet. We'll see what happens.
Do we
Hugh.
have to, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Do we have to do all the things on there to get that grant, or could we do $200,000 worth of improvements to the road and get it going for, you know, many years to come?
The component in here, and that's why you have the grant application, and I highlighted it. I think you're required to go back and tell them any changes in your budget.
Okay.
And, that's not saying,
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, the grant application and budget, we previously submitted in part. So, I mean, there might be some flex in there, and I've got that thing highlighted in my own. I don't know. And maybe that's the easy way to have that conversation and say, you know, we're not gonna come up with enough once we know what everybody's numbers are, and say, hey, we're gonna take a different cut at it and still take your money. You know, that may be the best conversation to have with them. So, okay, Hugh?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you know, I've been working with you and participating in the working group on this project to look at funding. Just a couple of perspectives. Number one is the county has a longstanding policy about if they take over a road from a municipality, it's gotta be up the county standards
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
they do that. And there are, I think several county board members that are adamant about that, notwithstanding just doing this project of itself, you know, there's some that are questioning whether it should be done. So I don't know if I want to continue to poke that bear about whether it's fair or not. It's just their long-standing policy. Mark, so that one I would leave alone. Relative to other funding, when we had the public listening session here about the potential project, my understanding that there are the cycling club or group that has been established in the county. I know in some of those conversations, they talked about being willing to participate. So I'm just wondering if there's other entities that would be willing to participate in the grant. And I think either through Destination Door County or the county administrator, Mr. Paddock, we might be able to, you know, shake that tree relative to other stakeholders, because, you know, turning that over, especially that large chunk of Shower Road, you know, from a cycling perspective, it was seen as very positive, you know, relative to how they wanted to have, you know, pseudo more dedicated trails. So that might be something to take a look at relative to, once the pencils are sharpened, then we kind of know the better estimate of cost, that we could just have them weigh in on that, and I think that might be amenable. The other one is a little bit, I'll say more aggressive. When we did our original budget workshop for the 2026 budget, the original anticipation was that we would have a much smaller net new construction number, and we were sitting with a $1.3 million, $1.4 million deficit. And there were a lot of ideas that were brought up relative to how the county could have closed that gap. Well, consequently, the net new construction number actually went up, so we are in a much favorable position. We have a balanced budget. However, one of the things brought up by the county staff and county board members as part of a brainstorming session was starting to charge admission at some of the county parks. And to Supervisor Waite's observation, you know, Cape Point is the most popular, and it's one that I've advocated for as a way for the county to monetize some of its assets a little bit more, especially since they're not used by county residents. County residents stay away from those parks because it's so doggone busy, and it's not safe. So, and I had given them my suggestions of how Waukesha County does it. They do it by reading license plates, and they do subscriptions, so it's very, I'll call it a very lightweight process. And I had mentioned to Supervisor Paddock at the time we were discussing this, to when they look at reconstruct the entrance to be able to have, you know, a park admission, you know, capability in there. We're gonna have fiber out there. From an addressing perspective, power's not gonna be that big of a deal. And you could fund, if you will, getting this done and pay that back through park admission fees. And after that, they can have it for general fund, park maintenance, because I think that would be a substantial revenue source. So that.
We could do that.
That would be another idea. It's not the toll road, but it's the next best thing to it.
No, I mean, we as a town could do
Could
that
keep it.
on that road. I mean, it is our road. So I'm not saying that's what we want to do, but there was been a suggestion that we don't plow it, that we put a boulder there. There's been all kinds, I mean, it's not the friendly approach, but,
But that would be another suggestion.
Right.
Suggest going to the county administrator, because you could, if you will, put that infrastructure in with the promise to pay through fees. You
Yep.
know, you need to do a short bonding if you want to, but that's another way you could probably get or get a loan, knowing that you're gonna have that sort of revenue coming in. So just a couple of suggestions that I
Yeah.
think would help you close that gap.
no, I appreciate it. We did have that conversation, like you said. I didn't see a lot of enthusiasm, but you never know. Things change. So I'll wait for some final numbers from the county. I'll get in touch with Jacksonport, going through the cul-de-sac conversation. And depending on where we're at after that, I think I'll circle back to Destination Door and see, or I should say the Door Community Foundation, see what's happening there, and I'll keep you guys in the loop at the next meeting. So,
Good luck.
thank you. I'm very excited about the opportunity to continue. All right. Moving on. EMR, meeting minutes, approval, quorums, head count. I put this on the agenda for a variety of reasons. Over the past few months, the EMRs and the agency, et cetera, has not had a necessary number of attendees to actually approve their own meeting minutes. And in some cases, when the meetings are held and there isn't a quorum, they're turned into training sessions, but I'm not sure that that's the right approach versus just elimination of the meeting at that point. And it's open for discussion. There is, as you had a chance to read through the different minutes, we have some participation issues or concerns, I think. We have some people that are highly qualified and extremely willing to put themselves out there to take the calls, sometimes almost to the extent that they're a one-man EMR committee. And we have a request for head count, and there's some conversations in the minutes, or I should say some notes in the minutes that talk about one of the ways would be to increase head count by trying to drive participation, and if the participation isn't there, perhaps we do some reduction in head count in order to offset the new people that maybe are more, desire to be more active. So it's kind of like just a giant topic that I thought maybe Trent would take us through all of the different things and help us better understand it, and then we can discuss whether we think these ideas, especially as it relates to head count, have merit. I don't want to let Trent go back to the EMRs or an agency and say, these are where we're going, and then they come back to us and we reverse course. Don't want to put him in that position. And then the last item in there is, how do we increase participation both at the meeting level and also, at the EMR actually responding to the call. So with that, Trent, I'm just going to leave it with you for a few minutes and kind of get everybody grounded on where you see this.
Sure. And yes, so meetings have become, well, I guess since I joined 2 years, or almost 2 years ago, yes, meetings have always been an issue with the EMRs to actually get a quorum there. It seems like we get a quorum at the, for an election, and other than that, we don't get a quorum. It's usually very few people show up to the meetings. Go ahead, sorry. Yeah.
Just to get us on the same page, what constitutes a quorum for the EMRs?
More than 50% of the
More
members
than
showing up,
50%,
yes.
okay.
Yep, yeah, and
Got
now, and as we've stated, we have a cap at 20, but we have actually 21 members right now. Yes, you have a
And
question?
I have another question. So I'm not clear on the word agency and the word committee.
Sure. So the committee is made up of 1 to 2 members of the Board of Supervisors, so I'm the only one on that. And then from the EMR group, it would be the crew chief. So that is the committee. The agency is the entire group of active EMRs, including their executive committee.
Would you repeat the agency?
Sure. The agency is the active EMRs, including their executive committee.
Right.
We've kind of short-stopped just there.
No, that's all right. No, I don't mind.
Want to make sure it's all,
Yeah,
same
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You see in the-
No.
Well, yeah, we
So-
need to understand when he's talking about agency or committee, what
Right.
is, be clear, because it doesn't seem to be clear.
Well, we voted on it this summer with the,
Right.
I mean, we set the whole thing up that way,
Right.
and it was all, I mean, that was the way it was originally intended, and, yeah. So, we've been talking the past couple meetings about ways to get more people interested, or more people active in the meetings, and also to eliminate the members that are non-participating, not going to calls for years, not coming to meetings. The suggestion that was brought up at our last meeting, and what we're looking to talk with the EMRs next month, would be instituting a point system. to say you need to have 15 points per year to be able to stay on as an EMR. The points would be 2 points per call that you go on, so you'd have to do a minimum of 5 calls per year, and 1 point per meeting, so minimum of five meetings per year. Now, if you end up going to 10 calls and you get 20 points, we're fine with that. We have some members that are traveling during the week and only available on the weekend, but they attend several calls per month, and we want to make sure that we do not eliminate the valuable EMR members just because they're unable to attend a meeting. But we're recognizing that there's a difference between unable to attend a meeting and unwilling to attend a meeting. So this point system would kind of give, it would at least eliminate the bottom 3 to 4 people every year that are not participating as EMRs. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, even with the point system, though, you have, based on grants activity. I mean, literally, he's the whole EMR, even the people that used to be active don't seem to be active. That's kind of.
That's correct, yeah, yep.
Is that because Grant's there and they're just letting him run with it? Is it because, how do we?
No,
used to be
because-
Dale Wiegand that took every call.
Yeah, and so, to kind of put some numbers behind that, just for anybody else listening. So, as of early December here, we've had 211 calls go out to our EMRs, and only 38 calls were no response. So that's 82% calls that were gone to. Now, of that 211 calls, Grant responded to 128 of them. Now, he's not the sole person to respond to 128 of them.
Right.
He's the other them. He's just a very active member. So he
Young and
came on
hungry.
this year. What's that?
Young and hungry.
Yes, and he's very. He does a very good job at it. He's very active in it. We don't need everyone to be that active. It's very tough to find people that are able to be that active. Between work schedules and everything. This is a volunteer agency. But to say we need you to make 5 to 10 calls a year is not unreasonable, because there are other people that are able to do that and willing to do that, but they're not allowed to be on our committee because we have the cap on it at 21 people. So this is going to give us kind of that opportunity to put some numbers and put a policy in place to be able to start eliminating the non-participating members.
And from Ashley and the rest, they're feeling comfortable to sell that.
Yes, and for a couple of reasons. One, yes, so there's some people that they haven't been active for years, so we may actually look at removing them before we
Even do
Yeah,
this?
before we even do this, because really, if we do this, this is a full year out that they have to get all these points. We're gonna have another year of the exact same situation. So we'd like to eliminate a few people as quickly as possible to get some new people on and get some more calls being attended to. If somebody has a good reason for why they weren't able to attend for a year, they are gonna be able to appeal that to us, or to the agency and the committee, to make sure that we're not eliminating somebody who could potentially help somebody in the future, but we just want to open that door for the people who really want to be active in these calls.
Okay. Feel free to chime in here, just trying to get where we're at. We had, hearing none?
No, I don't know if he's gonna keep.
Oh, no, I'm good.
I'll go back to the quorum. I'm just kind of confused by the quorum thing. And not trying to nitpick, but if you look at the June 11th, there's Grant, Justin, Ashley, Whitney, Trent, Cheryl, Joe, Jasper, Austin, Andy, and Trent. Might be 2 Trents to the same person, I'm not sure. And there's no quorum. And then you jump up to September 3rd, and there's Ashley, Trent, Whitney, Justin, and Grant. And there's a quorum.
That's a committee quorum,
That's a
because
committee
Ashley and I
committee.
are.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Committee,
yep.
gotcha.
Yeah,
To
Sorry.
look at the
I
header.
didn't know
Yeah.
that, okay.
Yep.
But, but you're right.
Sorry.
It seemed like all the agency meetings, they don't have a quorum.
No, we have not had a quorum since the February election.
So the next question would be, how can you conduct business if you don't have a quorum? And it seems like business is conducted even though there isn't a quorum.
Well, I guess what business is being conducted without the quorum?
Well, there's notes about it. There's minutes.
Yeah, because if we don't turn in minutes, we get yelled at.
Well,
So,
no,
yeah,
but
we do
you,
a
but you don't
training
have,
session. So in that training session, then at least the EMRs who are participating in the meeting can discuss issues that they're having with the crew chief to review calls, review best practices, bring up issues that they have as far as equipment needs and that kind of thing, without it being an official meeting where, so, yeah.
Is there any way to change the bylaws? I know we've done this already, to make it easier to have a quorum? I mean, is it allowed to make it less? So
Yeah,
you can-
but
no.
I understand that,
the idea, Mark, would, I mean, there's a couple of, I got a couple other bullets here that maybe will help. I question whether there's any communications going out to the EMRs that don't attend the meetings. Because there's no minutes going back, and Ashley's not communicating with them, so they're not even aware of whatever little training might be happening at a meeting, because they didn't get a recap.
No, so they all, they're paged to the meeting.
They
They
know
say
about the
page.
meetings, you're right.
Yeah, so they know that there's a meeting there, they're choosing not to, they're either choosing not to attend or they have something else going on.
Right.
But, you see, yeah,
But they're not
But-
getting the minutes from even your meetings,
The committee meetings.
the committee meetings, out to them. So they're not aware of anything that's being discussed at the EMR level.
okay, well, and all, I mean, the committee meeting, that would still be, it's available on our website. If they were interested enough to be there, they could get a hold of those minutes.
Yeah, but
They
you-
could also contact, there's a lot of ways they could.
I agree,
They're
but you
really
need
choosing
to,
not to.
we need to force feed them in order to get their engagement back. I guess that's really what I'm thinking. We need to drive the quorum activity and, you know, try and get everybody to participate. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think at one point in time, we had asked two. Do we have an equipment inventory yet from all of the EMRs? Did that ever get accomplished?
I believe
They
it's
were-
still in process. I know they've got quite a bit of it.
Okay.
Yeah, but then there's, again, there's a few people that are very inactive, so, you know, to find out whether they have anything. But it's really, the crew chief doesn't feel that it's on the crew chief to eliminate members. That's, you know, kind of an entire agency decision.
But is it on the crew chief to get on people about finding out where the equipment is, if that hasn't been done?
Yes.
No, I'm
and again,
asking.
If they're just non-responsive, I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, if they're non-responsive, that gives you an answer that they
It does.
probably shouldn't be on the,
I agree. I'm
me.
sure the crew chief would agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, yes.
Well, I think we need to figure out, I mean, I know, I talked to a couple of people regarding it, and I know it's always been a problem trying to get them to show up for meetings, but it's their group, it's their training opportunities. I think I talked to Amy about this, and it's probably too far off the wall, but I said, you know, maybe we look at put some dollars out there in a raffle or lottery or something, and we say, hey, make the meetings and get a chit, and, you know, at the end of the year, there's a cash bonus, you know, that you can participate in. I don't know. I mean, I'm open to any ideas. We have to figure out a way to get them engaged so that they are responding, that it doesn't fall back on Grant. If the committee is willing to pass on a few people that haven't been taking calls, are not active, and we can bring some people in, I'm game for that.
Okay.
But I think we need to broaden the participation of the people that take the calls and attend the meeting, understanding the quorum. The meeting's there for their benefit, so that they can get together and share, train, whatever. So, any ideas that any of you have, we should throw out there. So,
go to your mic, Linda.
The larger the group, the more difficult it is to get a quorum. So,
So we should cut it down to 10 to
Well,
make the
I thought we
quorum.
were at 16 at one point.
Yeah,
I always thought 16 was a nice round number,
Well,
but,
I have very mixed feelings on forcing people to meetings because I'm way more active than anybody else in this room with my life outside of this room, with all the things I do. So if I had to go to meetings, I'm not in a pissing contest, Jeannie, I'm just putting it out there. I coach sports,
Gee,
I have 3
thanks.
kids, so if I was forced to go to meetings, it would put a bad taste in my mouth. I think that was why this room was so filled with a lot of the EMRs. It's because they feel like we're getting into their business too much and telling them how to do the things that they're already doing. Like, they're not there to go to meetings, most of them, as we can see by the participation. They're there to be EMRs. So I'm very mixed on forcing people to go to meetings.
But Dan was also talking about them actually not going on calls.
Absolutely.
So
And
So
it's not-
that's why
it's
get
not
rid of
just
the,
meetings.
get rid of the dead weight. And then the people that want to come on board as EMRs are gonna want to come to meetings.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
get
Well,
fresh and
yeah.
new. So here's the other thing. Grant is self-employed basically, so he can go on calls. If I was still self-employed, I would join the EMRs in a heartbeat, because I can go on calls. I can drop my tool pouch and go. I'm not self-employed anymore. I work for someone. It's much harder. Back when we had 16 guys, or people, I should say, we had farmers, we had people that worked at the shipyard that were off, you know, and they were working 3rd shift, 2nd shift, 1st shift. It was much easier to have these people around. Now the people are working 2 and 3 jobs and running and going, and it's just, there's so much more going on now. We do need them, we need the numbers, we need the bigger numbers to have more people to pull from. So I never liked forcing people to go to meetings. It's just, that's my personal thought on it. I don't want to push people away because we're saying, okay, if you don't make this many meetings, you're out. I hope it never comes to that.
well, I don't think it would come to that. I think you want to have some camaraderie amongst your
Absolutely.
group. You want to have some communications on what's working, where I'm having trouble, what can I learn from, or whatever. So maybe the target is, 3 meetings a year, which I don't know that that puts anybody behind the 8 ball, but something that, gives them, that addresses that concern, so that they're also in communication with what's going on. I don't know. Obviously, taking the people that are not making and haven't made any calls is the right course of action before we add anybody else.
And I think that trying that, what you're talking about, the institute the points system doesn't sound like a bad idea. I mean, it sounds like a good idea. It's action,
Yes.
right? So, yeah.
I agree with Dan though, with, I don't know if he was getting to the point of making an email, but having these minutes emailed to all the committee members.
Right.
Sent out there, everybody's got email. If you don't, I guess you could
Yeah.
mail them a paper copy. That's what we do on some of our committees, right? But yeah, I think everybody needs to be involved. Get the correspondence.
I mean, they need to be aware of what's happening around
Good
them.
idea.
and even if they aren't official minutes, label it discussion only and no action taken, but at least you're letting everybody know
Right.
what was discussed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they get a sense for who did come to the meeting as well. So
Mhm.
I think that would be one. When's your next meeting?
January,
Is that your election meeting again?
yes, yep, January 7th will be the election meeting, yep.
And are we anticipating any changes, just out of curiosity?
I guess I don't know that, so.
Okay, I'm just, there's no groundswell at this point.
No, I mean, no,
Okay.
I don't know, yeah.
So
I guess,
you,
yeah,
okay, so you'll historically get a good turnout at that meeting?
yes, yep,
Okay, so
yeah,
at that meeting, either prior to or during that meeting, you'll discuss the point structure?
yeah. Yes, we'll get their buy-in on the point structure.
Communications process for them?
Sure.
What do you try to do now for committee meetings? How often?
We try to do monthly.
Monthly?
Yeah.
And agency meetings?
Try to do monthly. We throw it out there for monthly, because if the committee's gonna be there, a lot of times, some of the members show up for the committee meetings, so, yeah, we try to do monthly, but, yeah.
So using Mark's conversation or thoughts, maybe we just go to a quarterly meeting and anybody try and drive attendance quarterly, or every 3 months, 4 months? And anybody that wants to attend the committee meeting is welcome to do so?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, that can be part of the discussion in
That, I
January.
agree. I'm
Right.
just saying, maybe try that to, I don't,
Encourage.
yeah, I
people to-
encourage that they would come. I mean, I don't want to create a barrier, but,
Well, if
But we need
you've got
to-
less of a barrier, if you're you're asking them to meet less often, right?
right,
You're not putting the pressure on to, if you will, for monthly meetings.
okay,
So, I mean, it's worth discussion, certainly.
okay.
Bring that up.
So, your meeting will be before our meeting?
Yes, it will.
Okay, then we'll put it back on the January agenda and see, hopefully you don't need Band-Aids. And
No, no. No, we shouldn't need Band-Aids, but I believe, at that meeting, we'll be just, once we have the new crew chief elections and that kind of thing, we'll be discussing the inactive members, and, hopefully voting as a group to then bring that to the board to say we'd like to remove these 3 members, 4 members.
Okay.
And then, start bringing in some new blood.
Okay.
Mhm.
Anybody else have any adds to that?
Those are open to the public meetings, right?
The
Yeah.
committee meetings are, the agency meetings are not, because there are,
Oh, yeah.
If you can get into, private, yes,
Yeah.
privacy.
Privacy.
So that's, what's this one? This is gonna be a committee meeting?
No,
It is
agency.
This will be an agency meeting where they vote, yes.
Agency.
Because they're going to vote.
Okay, good enough for now. We'll put her back on January. Moving on, we have the contract for our clerk treasurer, Miss Amy. So in here, which we will approve, there's 2 changes. One, she decided to take the raise we're going to give her. I don't know how that happens. Doesn't ever seem to have any issue with that. But also, she will be reaching the time with us that we're looking at revising her vacation period to 4 weeks. It's 10 years, right, Amy?
10 years.
10 years of fun she's had with us. And so in the contract is a proposal to allow her to take 4 weeks of vacation as part of that contract. So if any of you have any questions, if not, we would want to make a motion to approve that for her.
I would move to approve the
Move to approve.
contract with our clerk treasurer for the period January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026, as presented.
I would like to make the motion to second that. So we have a motion by Linda and a second by Dan. And let's have a simple, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Did you want to raise your hand, Amy?
I don't get
No.
a vote.
Motion carried, thank you. We're glad to have you for another year and longer.
Yes.
So, okay. The next item is the approval of Republican, Democrats, and unaffiliated election officials. And as you might recall, Amy gets a list of all of the people submitted that would like to be considered for elections. That list is enclosed here, and all we need to do is a motion to approve those people so that she can work with them for next year.
Are you looking for a
motion
motion
to
on
approve
the
the-
appointment of election inspectors and the,
Yes, election officials,
so just the election officials,
Yeah.
not the party people?
right.
Okay,
All of them.
No, all of them.
okay.
It's all of
So
them.
All.
that's what I was asking. What
Oh,
are you looking for?
Sorry, a motion for all
Ah.
elections participant. Workers, officials, the word's officials, sorry.
Are you making that
Making the
motion?
motion?
Ms.
I
Vogel?
can.
Thought that's what,
I wanted clarification of
That's
how
all
you
right.
wanted it. So, okay, I'll make a motion to
Everybody
approve the appointment of election inspectors, that list, as well as the inspectors nomination list for the Republican Party of Door County and the Democratic, Wisconsin Dems or Democratic Party of Door County.
and all other unaffiliated election
And all other unaffiliated election
officials.
officials.
All right, we have a
There you
motion.
go.
I'll second that mouthful.
Motion by Jeannie, second by Mark. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody disapprove? Motion carried. All right. Let's see. And I noticed a public hearing on the Door County Comprehensive Plan. Linda, I put that in here, and I regret to inform you, I didn't touch base with you.
No, that's okay. I'm well aware of it. On
Okay.
Thursday, January 15th, 2026, starting at 3 PM in the afternoon at the Government Center, the RPC will be holding its public hearing on some proposed zoning text amendments. There's about 17 sections, I believe, that they're going to be looking at. Again, it's a public hearing available to everyone. I will probably attend that. I did submit some suggestions to the land use director, Karen Bailing, some time ago. So she has those notes from me, but I do plan to attend.
Okay.
Did you read the 90 pages,
92, I think.
Linda?
I scrolled through, I paid more
I
attention
did.
to
I
the
mean, I-
public notice
It was, they did some good stuff.
a lot, yeah.
Some of them really makes, I mean, you know, you look at codes and stuff like that, a lot of them don't make sense, but they did. Hugh, were you on that one?
I chair the committee.
I know. I know, I was being facetious, I saw your name on there. Thank you very much, you did yeoman's work down, it's a lot of work. It's, yeah, and there's some common sense things in there, I was surprised by that, because they're not supposed to be common sense, right? No, it's very good.
All right. Next one is building inspection updated fee schedule. I can tell you the old if anyone's particularly interested.
It's pretty minor.
Basically, they've bumped a fair number of things up based on square footage. The square footage cost has gone up from 10 cents to 15 cents or 10 cents to 12 cents. Different flat fees like manufactured homes have changed from 200 to 300. They've restructured the family dwellings a little bit. Used to be from 0 to 750. It's now 0 to 999 and $750 state seal. So it's basically a revision to all of their fees, and according to our town clerk treasurer, these are the same fees as proposed to the other communities that they work with, which is basically about 2/3 of the Door County towns. So they need us to approve that if there are no issues or concerns.
Mr. Chairman, can I
Yes.
ask a question? It seems to me there was some discussion on the occupancy bond and how to enforce that, or
Yes.
did I dream that?
No, no,
Um,
you're right.
Right, you know, how does the building inspector enforce that? Apparently, there's been a couple instances where the person or the people have already moved in, they didn't have their final inspection, but they're asking for the occupancy bond to be returned, and usually the builder collects it, so maybe the owner doesn't even know that there's an occupancy bond. So was there any resolution on that? I'll ask our clerk.
There was no resolution that
Yeah.
was made on that. I know that some suggestions were to maybe increase that $400 occupancy bond to something larger. Because $400, even if you're a builder, is not worth the paperwork sometimes to get that $400 back. So that was one suggestion.
Could we institute a penalty? Like, for a zoning permit, if you start your project before you have your zoning permit, you might get a fine or a penalty. Maybe we need to do some, or, when is our contract up with, it's not annually, I think it's a 3-year contract,
3 or
but,
5, yeah.
or
Right.
5, yeah.
I would have to look at the
Yeah.
date for that.
Something to think about.
Well, they're gonna be in here this week.
We're
to talk
meeting,
to you on Thursday.
you and I are meeting with
Kyle,
Kyle
Oh,
on
okay.
Wednesday.
Thursday?
Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
Wednesday at
Wednesday.
1 o'clock.
Wednesday, 1 o'clock. And that was one of the things I wanted to talk about.
Okay,
'Cause
good.
I think you're right. I mean, either we raise that, and as you indicated, sometimes it gets lost in the builder's thing, so I'm, not to put more burden on Amy, but maybe a letter goes to the owner saying this occupancy permit, you are not gonna get this money refunded if you don't get final inspection, and just deal with it up front. And, if you don't get final inspection, thank you, we keep the money. That would be my thought. And maybe it's too easy a fix. Maybe it's not. I don't know. What do you think, Mark, as a former builder?
Well, it's, if you, if you get if you look at their fee schedule here, if you start too early, you get fined. Double the fees are due if the work is started before a permit is issued. I mean, that's what it's always been. If you get a fine for building, if you build something,
Right.
I mean, it's been
Right.
an age-old thing. DNR won't give you a permit to dig a pond, so you go dig a pond, and then they fine you $400, because it's $200 to dig it, and $200 for the fine. So, yeah, the $400 for occupancy is, like Amy said, it's nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'd be
Increase.
very willing to increase or to put a fine in their schedule for it. And yeah, it's very true. A lot of homeowners have no idea that there's even an occupancy permit.
Right.
They hear it at the end of the job when they're told that, oh, you don't have that stair there, and you don't have a light by your doorway, all these different things. They have no idea. So,
So we could maybe make that part of this while their fee schedule is up for grabs.
I mean, it's refunded upon approval of the final inspection, so the Gillets have to do the final inspection before you can get it back.
Right?
So if that final inspection does the final inspection get turned into the town? Like, do you know when there's a final inspection?
Well, we know when there's a final inspection when we issue the $400 back.
Yeah,
So that's the
so-
only way we would know if there's the inspection that's done.
Yeah.
Recently, there was one, again, I assume it had a general contractor, that they let the residents move in, and then the building inspector called them for a final, and they said, well, now you have to work around the residents' schedule. Well,
Yeah,
because they had all of their, everything moved in already. So
Happens all
that's
the time.
not right.
No.
So they want to figure out how to stop that from happening.
yeah. It's adding more work for them, for Gillets. But maybe we can talk, when you guys meet them this week, is there a way they can just send an email when
Well,
everything's
they're asking
final
us to,
inspection?
they're asking us to approve these fees, so maybe what we do is we approve these fees conditional upon a change in the occupancy permit process, either increasing that fee, or like you said, a penalty or something. And maybe that's what we ought to do, is just throw it out there and say, it's conditional based on figuring out a better way to deal with the occupancy permit. I mean, worst-case scenario, if we didn't approve this till January, it's not gonna cost them a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in fact, let's do that. Let's roll it over to January. We'll have the conversation with them on Wednesday, and depending on what happens, and we'll put it on the January thing, and we could even make it retroactive.
Effective January 1st or something.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has a problem with these fees. That's not the issues we're having. The issue, we have one issue.
Okay, let's do that. All right. We will find out the answer to the question.
And in my opinion, they're gonna say yes because, like Amy said, now they gotta go in there and climb over kids' toys and cat beds and everything else to check things. You know what I mean? It's gonna be easier on them in the end.
Yep, okay. AT&T updated map, and just, before I give it to Jeannie, we did get the next invoice for the 50% completion. And Jeannie, do you remember what they anticipate them, where they really think they are? Like, wasn't it like they're gonna be pretty close to 60
Pretty
some?
close to 60%.
60%?
Very soon.
Yeah, almost by the first of the year, or right after, I think. They said they were giving us a heads up, there was another one coming soon. So, any rate, and with the Board of Land Commissioners, we're just waiting. It's been pre-approved, subject to the state attorney, who apparently looks at it, makes a call, and then they will send us the funds. So, Jeannie, you want to talk to the rest?
Sure. We did have a Zoom meeting with AT&T last week, and it was necessary, certain, because of the SBU's bearing of the lines on the section of Bay Shore Drive where they have poles. And as everyone's probably noticed, they have stopped work. SBU uses H&H to do the borings. They were able to, the boring was very difficult because of the extreme conditions, rock conditions, solid rock. They installed, the installation was complete on Lorry Lane, West Dunn Road, and the northernmost section of Bay Shore Drive to 4433 Bay Shore Drive. So that's a completion of what they're going to have done for 2025. We now have everyone on board with understanding SBU's timeframe. Though the map says that estimated completion in that area is going to be January of '26, that is not accurate. We just haven't received an updated map since our discussions. So Jason was at the meeting, Jason Berry of SBU, so he came back with his estimate of the time frame. So it moves very slowly when you're going through solid rock. So he's estimating that in 2026, they'll complete about 0.8 miles. So at the point of the end of 2026, the anticipation is somewhere in the neighborhood of 4221 Bay Shore Drive. In 2027, again, by his conservative estimate, the stopping point in '26 will be from in the area of Gordon Road plus the entire Shoreside Circle subdivision. So by the end of '27, that's what should be completed. That's a conservative estimate according to Jason. So in 2028, the approximate 1 mile route, conservatively, that should take care of the rest of Bay Shore Drive to the city limits. So not necessarily what everyone would want to hear, but originally AT&T quote was about doing aerial service in that area. And of course, instead the SBU is bearing, so it doesn't make sense for AT&T to hang or aerial the fiber. So they will go in the trench, and so that is now the time frame. As you can see, some of the other areas indicate where it's been completed in our town, and this map, if it hasn't been put on the website, it probably will be. It may come off when we get the revision about the estimated completion of the area of Bay Shore Drive. Again, that is estimated. We're hoping that the rock situation gets better as they're moving south, and things can move along a little faster. Any concerns about the federal grant that was received or is in process, not yet received, by AT&T? That's something that they're going to address with the Public Service Commission, and they will keep us informed on that.
I would add, excuse me, I would add a couple things in that area, which, if you look on the map, it's defined as January 26, and it's 1180 PA is how they define it. There's about 170 households in there. So out of the 2,200, those would be our stragglers, for lack of a better word. And not all of those people will be delayed as they work down the street and they do their connections. Some of those people will be moved over, we'll have an option. So I'm guessing that by the end of 26, we'll probably be down to less than 100 people.
Yeah.
And the good news there is they're currently served by charter. They may not be elated, but they have service today, so it's
Yeah.
kind of you could live with it kind of thing. So we'll keep everyone abreast as this thing develops further. But they are moving ahead, and there are a lot of people that have been connected and are pretty happy. So we'll just keep you in the loop. Thanks, Jeannie.
You're welcome.
Anyone else on the board have any questions relative to that? Okay. Last thing is a tax bill. Most everybody received their tax bill from the town. And the only reason I put this in here was more of a heads up than anything else. First off, you see the impact of the town's taxes on, in this case, somebody called Amy Leist. Any rate, here nor there. As you can see, the town component is 0.4%, whereas the county of Door is 4.6, NWTC is almost 8, and Sevastopol Schools is just under 5. But the most important ingredient is right dead in the center where it says average assessment ratio, 0.88. That means in less than 1 year since we've done ours, we've slipped 12%. And just as a reminder, anytime we're outside 10% high or low, the state comes along and says you're going to have to do a reassessment at some point in time, not immediately. But I was frankly surprised to see that number change that dramatically in that short period of time. So obviously we'll keep an eye on it, and hopefully it doesn't change significantly next year. So that was that. Oh, and behind it, Gibraltar did this, right? Mm-hmm. They did a really nice job of taking the tax bill, and it's color-coded, and breaking out what each section is so that somebody who's looking at their tax bill has a little better understanding of what's doing it. And I think we will do that next year and make that available if people want to pull it off the internet or whatever. And in their case, yeah, do you know if that was an actual that they pulled?
No, I don't believe it was an actual.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, because their assessed value would be 89, it'd actually be one better. Anyway, yes.
For the clerk, okay, so did the county print this tax bill? Do we have the option of asking the county to include that informational
I'm not-
paragraph up on the upper right-hand corner? And do they charge extra for adding color?
So this, the explanation of my tax bill that came from Teresa at the town of Gibraltar. This was shared between the treasurers, in the municipal treasurer group that we have within the towns. So, you know, she had just shared this with us. I think she took it out of, I think she took example of the tax bill and then went in Adobe Acrobat and kind of manipulated it with the colors and whatnot. So I'm not sure that the county would be able to do something like this. I mean, we can always do a mock-up like this and, like you said, place it online. Because not everyone understands when they get the tax bill, they just see that it went up or it went down.
Right.
But looking at this, you can kind of see, oh, it was the town that went up. It was NWTC that increased theirs. And this is the reason why it's higher or lower. So,
You know, it's, you get the tax bill and they print our sheet, your information sheet, and put it in the packet, or you're folding it and putting it in?
It's an outside printer that prints
it's an
the
outside
info sheet.
printer that prints it. We take it to the county, and when we get them back, everything is folded and sealed.
Yep.
So when I get them back, all I have to go through is stamp.
But we're not allowed to put anything more in there because of cost?
Correct. So you can have you can have one page, you can do double-sided if you want, but that is the most that they will allow you to place
Put
in
in
there.
there. Okay. I thought it was a pretty useful tool. Worst case, we can put it on the internet and, you know,
We could
put
add
a,
it to the insert. we
put it
could
in the
add-
insert.
Yeah.
Right,
saying,
saying, you
yep.
know, if you'd like a detailed explanation, you know, please go to our website, it's under whatever.
Yeah, because you had a lot of room this year on your insert, which I have here. So we certainly could
Sure.
make that tweak one way or the other. Yep. Okay, good.
Do you choose the color of the paper?
I do.
All right. We are moving slowly along. We have to pick up the pace, right? All right. So, financial reports for November of '25. You have the account balances, the budget versus actual, and the transaction detail reports for the month. And Amy, you have any comments from the treasurer's perspective?
Yeah, the EMRs received a grant from the state of Wisconsin for roughly $18,000. It was the first year that the EMRs were even eligible to apply for this, so I believe the application needed to be in, or the opening started mid-August, and it needed to be in by about the 19th of September. Ashley took care of that, and we just heard this week that they were able to secure $18,000. That $18,000 has to be used for specific things, and they gave them a list of what they could use it for. And the other caveat is that that has to be used within a year.
What
So,
kind of items did they?
pagers, radios, any cell phones, upgrades, defibrillators. So mostly supply things, but some of those pagers and radios, are the larger ticket items. So,
Great.
But that's something that has to be used within a year. And I don't believe our upgrade for the EMS towers and everything will line up with that.
And Ashley did that?
Ashley did do that, yes.
Oh, Trent, thank her for us. That was very good
The
of
other
her to
things
take and do.
are tax bills that did go out already, and residents have already been paying them. Currently, our road construction budget category has a balance of $370,000 versus the $400,000 that we had budgeted. That was mostly due to Whitefish Bay Road coming out $20,000 less than what we anticipated. And I did check with the county, so the total for Whitefish Bay Road was $179,000 versus the quote of $199,000. So I did check with the county to see if we had any outstanding invoices for any of the roads, and we are up to date,
So we're 25,000 under what we targeted.
roughly right.
That's why you checked, because you were surprised.
I was surprised, and so I just wanted to know that everything was kosher, and it is.
Okay,
Cool.
Whitefish Bay was the one where we said just run it as far as you can on 200,000, right?
Yeah,
we changed it.
We
Oh.
changed that one.
We changed
Oh, that's
it
right, we went to a certain point, you're right, yeah.
because we had the Matthew Road mess, and so, any rate.
Yep, okay, thanks.
Yep.
Matthew Road mess of 2025.
Okay, Amy's got it, so we need a motion to approve the financial reports for November.
I'll move to approve the financial reports for November.
Motion by Linda, second by.
Second.
Second by Jeannie. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried, all right. I think everybody had a chance to sign the vouchers, bills, claims, yes?
Yes?
If that being the case, a motion to approve would be in order.
I'll make the motion to approve voucher bills and claims for November 18th through December 15th of 2025.
All right, we have a motion by Mark, second by Trent. To approve the vouchers, bills, and claims, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good news, all right. Oral Committee Commission Reports Minutes. We do have the Plan Commission meeting minutes from November 11th. And does anybody, before we go, does anybody have any, you have something, Lynn?
Well, I promise to keep it brief.
Okay.
Okay. Just to follow up on the Shoreman, remember the conditional use permit requests that came before the board? The RPC did grant
Oh, yeah.
the conditional use permit. I think there was some misunderstanding when we started out before the RPC, that we had put on the recommendation that they didn't appear. And I think some of the RPC members thought, oh, you denied it because they didn't show up. And really, that wasn't the case. It was because we couldn't get an answer to our questions. So, yes, but anyway, they did grant it. The vote was, I think, 3-1. There was only 4 RPC members. And I'm okay with that. They were very pleasant, so anyway. And then Destination Sturgeon Bay did ask for some input on our pages in their 2026 visitor guide. So we had 2 pages last year. I'm guessing we'll have something very similar, but there will be pictures of the pickleball courts included. So that's nice. They had a professional photographer take some pictures. The dates, as far as upcoming events, we just really have a few events, and that's the Door Master Gardener's Plant Sale, May 22nd and 23rd, and the Valmy Thresherie, August 14th, 15th, and 16th. And then, of course, the Dairy Breakfast is Sunday, July 5th. So that's it for Destination Sturgeon Bay. We did adopt the Door County Tourism Zone budget at our last zone meeting, and we have a meeting coming this Thursday. The zone also gets the opportunity to approve Destination Door County's draft budget for 2026, and that was approved. All of the questions were answered. And I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Anything else? Hearing none? All right, so we need a motion to approve the minutes and put them on file.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mark, second by
Second?
Jeannie. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. County Board Report by District Supervisor Hugh Zettel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. November is typically the busiest month for the county board, since there's the public hearing for the budget, as well as all the supervisors are also part of the fair board, by construction. So the annual fair board review is also handled in that November meeting, of which was conducted. I think what I just want to focus on is the public hearing on the budget. There really wasn't any public comment. The overall tax rate for the county is 2.214, and all the other numbers that get appended per thousand of equalized value, that's an 8.6% reduction versus the prior year. A lot of that driven by the net new construction number. As I said, when we were looking at the start of the budget process, we had a $1.4 million-ish deficit. And that was with a conservative number of what we thought net new construction was going to be, just based on what we saw for permit use, et cetera. But that number was actually higher. So the net new construction number increased substantially for the county, almost 20%. So that, drove the overall county equalized value to be over $13.5 billion. And so a lot of that, which is about almost 2.5% increase from the prior year. And of course, that helps drive the tax rate, reduction that people see. On the Fair Board, in the attendance increase 2,000. They had net income of approximately 20,000. Over the last several years, the county has made it a policy or adopted a policy that the fair be more self-sufficient. And so the county is, reducing its, I'll call it subsidy over time. And so with the investments they've made, with the pavilion, the fairground improvements, the online ticketing, improved social media, they've driven a lot more volume. Obviously, having the Clydesdales there also drove a lot of interest. And thank you, Supervisor Waite, for in the public comment, acknowledging the Flanagan family for their support of bringing the world famous Budweiser Clydesdales to the county. Resolutions, obviously, along with the budget, there's new jobs, revised job positions, et cetera, for the budget that also have to be approved by the county board. That was in there as well as some other donations that were made to county agencies that exceeded $5,000 that actually requires county board approval. We also updated the ordinance. The state changed their statutes relative to how they treat the handling of certain recyclables. So basically, we had to update our ordinance to reflect the state statute changes along those lines. And then relative to some other committee activities, the RPC, as Supervisor Hayne noted, we spent a lot of time looking at the revisions to the comprehensive zoning ordinance. A lot of them were changes that were kind of placeholdered over time until we could make a substantial change. And so that public hearing really reflects all those changes along with some tweaks we made based on some I guess open sessions. As part of the process that the Director Karen Baling did, they also provided the towns the ability to provide their own feedback. So before we go to public hearing, of which, if you will, the ordinance is kind of already baked, we kind of did a last call, and that's where the towns got a chance to say, hey, I would like to have this change, or have you consider that, so that way we could have that in an open discussion with the committee before we kind of finalized it for public hearing. So we added that extra step, again, just to allow the town some more flexibility to offer us feedback. And as Supervisor Wade also noted, the Sherman Cup, we approved it by a vote of 3-1. Originally, there was a motion to not approve it, to have it go back to the town, and that motion failed 1-3. And I think just the notion is that it's almost impossible for a county to not approve a cup submittal with the new state law. And, quite honestly, by statute, the county isn't required to get town input or town review of a conditional use permit. So there are some, process questions that were raised, relative to, why the party didn't attend the Plan Commission meeting or the town board, and the committee was sympathetic to that. As we all know, we all do this on a volunteer basis, and to not attend those meetings is really not fair for the investment that we all make as members serving our towns and serving our county to be properly heard. So that was taken in, and actually Supervisor made a good point that actually in the notice, it says it's up to the applicant to notify the town. And I think we're gonna see if we can make some changes on that so that they see that front and center a little bit more, just to recognize their accountability in that process. So having serving on the Plan Commission, as well as hearing the feedback at the town board meeting when this was brought, we were able to make sure we get all the concerns or questions that the town had, and make sure it was properly addressed relative to setting the conditional use permit in place, and I'm confident that it will be handled and done properly. So again, they still have to go through the permitting process as well, so questions about the pout system, et cetera, for sizing, I mean, that'll all be part of the permitting process that the county will be on top of. So I wanted just to make that known. Relative to just some things on the broadband piece, we'll have probably a more detailed report in January, but the county or the state got its BEAD funding from the federal government, the NTIA, approved. That means roughly 5,979 locations will be funded to the tune of roughly $3,700 per location. The county got a total of over about $22.6 million as part of BEAD funding to get those locations installed. It's the 8th highest award in the state. So I think kudos obviously to Jessica in helping facilitate and with the prep work that the towns did to make sure that the Public Service Commission had all the information they needed. Of the locations, again, with the new BEAD process, what the biggest thing that got changed is you get who you get as an ISP. They kind of just go to the lowest bidder, period. So, for example, a town of Nassau is going to have 5 different ISP providers.
Oh, well, that'll be easy to deal
Right.
with.
Wow.
So, if someone has a questions, they're going to have to find out who their ISP provider is, and then, good luck. So, that's what you get for when it's free, I guess.
Leave it to government.
Roughly 92% of all the new locations will also still be fiber. There's a handful that are still direct, that are fixed wireless, like a Door County Broadband, et cetera. And there's also a handful of Starlink locations. So, so by and large, for all practical purposes, if anyone needs broadband access in the county, after these grants are fulfilled, every location in the county will be able to get broadband access, and the large majority of them will have access to fiber, which I didn't think we'd ever be able to make that statement
I didn't think
3
that
years
would
ago.
happen.
So great news there. Madam Clerk Treasurer, relative to your comment about a more readable tax report, I might suggest you get your treasurer group to bring that to the Finance Committee
Okay,
at the county. Serving on that committee, I think anything we do to help make tax bills more readable, I think that would be something I would love to have entertained and brought before the committee, either through Mr. Schley or through your committee chair, because I think that would be something be worthwhile to have a discussion on doing that, even if it takes some incremental funding.
absolutely.
And we can do that, because I think now the county does all the tax bills. I think Nassau was the last straggler, I think, last year.
Yeah.
So I would love to support having that brought before the committee.
Okay,
And then, let's see, if anything else here, RPC. RPC was talked about with that public hearing coming up in January. There is one more big topic that's really not covered in that comprehensive zoning ordinance, and that is we are going to have a separate discussion with the towns relative to how we treat camping.
Camping?
Camping.
Oh,
Ah, Good. Mm.
cool. Cool.
That is a very, 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 very,
Not in my backyard.
I'll
Okay.
call contentious topic. You know, a lot of things got worse, if you will, during COVID. You know, with, you know, campers showing up in just vacant lots, you know, no fire numbers, no proper handling of waste, you know, camping, you know, in residential yards, you know, et cetera, all that stuff. So it's a topic that has garnered a lot of feedback, and the county's going to be asking for inputs relative to how to revise and update that ordinance to address, you know, concerns raised by the towns. So I'll look forward to that. So with that, I'll be able to answer any questions that you have. Otherwise, I'd like to wish everybody a happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
as
you.
well.
Questions? So, if you happen to get the Door County Pulse, there's an article that appeared called "The Southern Door Alumni Association Announces Its 2025 Alumni Hall of Fame Inductees." And for the benefit of the millions of people listening tonight that do not know all this information, I'm going to share with you the fact that a gentleman by the name of Hugh Zettel, who sits in front of me, was in the class of 1976, and he was in the healthcare diagnostic imaging business. And Hugh is being, I'm going to read this, it's a brief paragraph, is being inducted into the Southern Door Alumni Hall of Fame for his significant impact in healthcare and diagnostic imaging. During his 36-year career with GE Healthcare, he was instrumental in developing the world's first high-field magnetic resonance imaging MRI system. He was also granted 11 patents in the United States and internationally for innovations in radiology, imaging, remote service management, and computer-assisted surgery. Additionally, he served on Governor Doyle's E-Health Quality and Patient Safety Board, and he still is, and running again, to be a Door County Supervisor. Nice article, congratulations.
Congratulations, Hugh.
And this picture of you in the suit, it has to be from like 45 years ago.
I know, it's not the common one you see at the post office.
Orange jumpsuit? That-
Nice job. All right, let's,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Hugh.
All right, license, let's see. Oh, you have, inspection services recap for the month, and you also have the building permits as Amy pulled them. And I did have a chance at a recent meeting that I was at to meet the gentleman that bought what I'll call Parents Pit.
Yep.
Who's gonna be moving from, it sounds like he's got a challenge, because the house that he owns on Bay Shore Drive is 3 times larger than the one he's moving into, so he's got his work cut out for him.
Yes, but he will be building a bigger
Yes,
house.
he will be, but he's gonna have a couple weeks where he'll be stepping over, as you call it, cat beds?
Yeah.
Cat beds, yeah, okay,
I have a question on that.
yes.
So he was granted a permit to do an accessory building, or shed they call it. How is that allowed when you don't have a primary residence?
There
does have a
There is a
primary.
residence there.
Here's a primary.
On Lake of the Woods?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, Joe
Oh.
had a home built
There's
there a
like a
number of years ago.
cabin.
Yes, it's a
Small.
huge log house, is it? Is
Yep.
it
No,
not?
well-
Okay, I'm sorry. Yep.
Yes, he did, so he's good to go. All right, license inspections, all we have is a couple pieces of correspondence. Rural Mutual, we're in the process of switching agents. This will be our 3rd one in the last few years. The gentleman that was there is moving on to something else. The newsletter from Destination Door County, the Destination Connection. And announcements is our next meeting will be January 19th at 7 p.m. If you have some agenda items before then, let me know. Otherwise, it is time for that world-famous last final motion.
A motion to adjourn.
We have Trent with a motion to adjourn, second by Mark. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.